dodgy penalties, bicycle kicks, goal line clearances, and a boring 0-0 draw. A great Easter weekend.
Good evening, Tate.
Evening, Jack. You alright?
Yes, mate. All good. How are you?
Very well, mate. Very well. Feel recovered from a heavy Easter weekend.
Yes, yeah. It was a nice couple of days off, wasn't it? And yeah, had a couple of nights or one night of the classic Boreham Beer Fest or Jim's Fest. But yeah, no, it was good. Nice weekend.
That was good. It's lovely having a nice extended break from work. And
Yeah.
here we are on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You were out watching your brother do a 10k run,
Yes,
was it?
yeah. Him and his mate Luke Osborne, they ran yesterday Regent's Park. And we did actually later find out that there was a 10k. Well, obviously you can run 10k wherever you like, but that sort of run was available in Chelmsford yesterday. So yeah, I don't think I'll be running Regent's Park ever again. But no, it was good. It was a good day and good evening.
No, I'm glad. And it's nice to come back to the bunker when the clocks are turned back and the lights are on. And
yeah, a bit earlier than normal. It's the shutter's down, but yeah, it is light outside. It's nice.
So yeah, it's good. It's all good. Right, so this week's episode, we will run through the game of the week. Well, on paper, the game of the week. Manchester City versus Arsenal. There was a lot of build-up before that game, and we'll talk about our thoughts on it and where that leaves both teams in the title race. And then we'll have a quick run through the remaining 9 games. Maybe not too much in depth for most of them, but just some thoughts, because there was a few controversial decisions and things that have happened during the other 9 games. And then maybe even a look ahead to tonight's games, tomorrow's games, and Thursday games, as it's a busy week and the Premier League is now back. International football is in the bin till June.
Yeah.
And we've got 9 games remaining. But let's start with the teaser as always. The more I look at this teaser, the more I think I did it last year. So
we'll soon find out.
I'm like, did I do this one last year? I can't remember. But here we go. Willian made his 311th Premier League appearance on Saturday versus Sheffield United. But can you name the 9 other Brazilians who make up the top 10 all-time Brazilian Premier League appearance holders?
I don't think you have, but yeah. All right.
So Willian is number 1.
He's number 1, okay.
And then you need to name 2 down to 10.
Okay.
But let's start at the Etihad. Eastlands, the city of Manchester Stadium. At the time of the game, it was 2nd versus 3rd, as Liverpool had just beat Brighton 2-1 at Anfield to go 3 points clear of Arsenal and 4 clear of Liverpool at time of play. Very nervous I was going into this one. Nervous / excited. It was a bit of butterflies in my feeling butterflies, because these are the games that we've waited years to be involved with, and it's always a tough game going there. You want to be excited, but also you know what City can do to you. City ended all our dreams last year when they battered us, and I just didn't want that. I needed us to show that we've shown all season that we've been the best team going forward. We've been the best team defensively, and show what we're about this season with our new players. And everyone was pretty much fully fit. You had Martinelli on the back from injury on the bench, but barring that pretty much is our
that's
starting
what
lineup.
Yeah, Arsenal had everyone available. Obviously, Timber got a terrible injury at the start of the season, but apart from him, I mean, you don't know how he would have done. But yeah, that is your as strong as you can go. And obviously, stark contrast from last season, like you always say, holding centre half, and you saw the difference. I mean, obviously Gabriel and Saliba were brilliant, but yeah, just you saw the immediate difference with that team, and the addition of Declan Rice and obviously a more secure goalie. I mean, the game, I think it was built up, wasn't it? And they always are those sort of title, not deciders, but that is built up to that. It feels like a final, a Champions League final, a World Cup final almost, and they normally, that sort of, if it's an FA Cup final, they normally plan out the way they do, and they're normally, to the neutral, a pretty dull and uninspiring a game. But yeah, I think that is more to do with how Arsenal, you saw it in the 3 games you played City this year, you've won 2 and drawn 1. Arteta and the players have obviously bought into a tactic or style of play when they play City, and it's worked this season, and you can't argue it hasn't. Like I said, 2 wins and a draw, and that you saw that in the game. And I think City were, yes, Arsenal were probably a bit tentative and cagey, but I think also City are in a similar way. They weren't free flowing and brilliant City that they can be, but also I think they know in the back of their mind the damage that Arsenal could have done themselves. So yeah, it was. I think everyone said, it's a boring game, 0-0, but it's not expected. But yeah, when there's so much at stake, I think the players and the managers don't want to mess up. So that's why it goes the way it does, I think.
No, it's a very interesting point, because if you look at both managers, they are quite control freaks.
Yeah,
They love the left back or the right back inverting in just to make control of the central pitch and have that extra player in there, and they come up with these new tactics every now and again. But if you go back to the game before the international break, and it was Liverpool City, great entertaining game for the neutral, bit of a basketball game. That's not what Pep Guardiola wants.
No.
And you noticed it whenever, I can't remember the minute it was, but he took off De Bruyne and brought on Kovacic, and Kovacic steadied the ship for them. And then after that, it stopped becoming a basketball game, and it was a more steady, and Man City grew into it, and then they had the chance with, I think, Doku at the post, and then Foden had a chance. But they looked more steady when they had Rodri and Kovacic in the middle, holding it all together, because Liverpool are a basketball team that thrive on chaos, and they have chaotic players. Their front three love space, and that if you're having a chaotic game, you're going to get more space, and that's when they can thrive on it. Arsenal made sure, and Man City, wherever they started, that was not going to be like that. There were 8 centre-backs on the pitch, and that's how both teams have played this season. Keep it secure, keep it tight, go out wide, come in, and it was always going to be not a great game for the neutral, but like you touched on earlier, the 3 games, the 2 previously before that, haven't been great games.
No, and they've been a similar
1-1,
fashion,
They've been a 1-0 and they've been a 0-0. Arsenal have learned, hopefully, going forward as well, that you can't do that with Man City. And there was a really interesting stat that between Arsenal and Man City, both games have been 0-0 at half-time, and none of the previous 22 league meetings between the two have been 0-0 at half-time. And that shows that mainly that's Man City going 3-4-0 up early doors, but that's showing that Arsenal have matured and looked at things from a more tactical approach and keeping things tight, because the game will just run away from it. I think with Arsenal it was at 2-0 at half-time, and could have been 3 or 4.
It was the first 0-0 between the two sides since 2011, January 2011. I know things are very different. Arsenal weren't nowhere near what they are now, but yeah, it just shows you normally there's Arsenal try and play their typical way, and they normally find themselves getting battered. But yeah, they went there, sat behind the ball like many teams do, like a Brentford might do, or whoever might go to the Etihad, and Man United tried to do it, but obviously Arsenal have some much better players and are far better at it this season. So yeah, it wasn't like a masterclass, as in Arteta's unearthed a new tactic and style, but it's a style that loads of teams try, and it sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. But yeah, the weekend you'd probably say it worked for Arsenal very well.
Yeah, the game plan was obviously to stifle City, and going back to the preview of the game, Arsenal just could not afford to lose that game.
No.
Because they'd lost it, they were done out the title race. Because however way you want to do your predictions for the last 9 games, you had Arsenal lose that game. Even if you're the most biased Arsenal fan in the world, they still aren't winning. They still the points and who they've got, and Arsenal just could not afford to lose that. So they're drawn it. They're still in the hat with 9 games to go. But the game plan there was quite clear, I think, to stifle City, hit them on the counter-attack. They had a few chances with Jesus and Trossard, but most importantly, it was to basically suffocate De Bruyne. And another interesting stat, I've done some reading, because obviously we've had an extra day to look back at it and looked at some interesting numbers on it. Apart from Ake, who was subbed in the 20th minute, out of all the starters, the 2 players that had made the least passes was Haaland, number 1, and then De Bruyne, number 2. And if you think De Bruyne, you think if he controls games, and especially for Arsenal, historically, I think it's 7 goals against Arsenal. There's a 5-minute compilation that City tweeted out before the game of all of De Bruyne's goals against us. It's 5 minutes. But it just shows that he's the one that makes the impact. I think he got 2 goals and 2 assists against us last year. You can picture the goal when he was running through past holding or slipping in Haaland. He just has all the control, and he's their best player. When it bottles down to it, he is the one that makes them tick, and he is their most important player. And for Arsenal to have that extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Coverage is not the word I'm looking for. Stability around him with Declan Rice, it was just proved this season how important that bloke is.
No, definitely. And you like I said earlier, but you've gone there you've bought Declan Rice, you've added some players, you have a fit Saliba, you've got a fit Gabriel. You're obviously very, very different. Like you said, in recent times, you'd have hoped as an Arsenal fan and that you'd have learnt some lessons. And this season, I think, and obviously Sunday was a prime example of that. Yeah.
But I was so keen all season to go to the Etihad with a fully fit squad.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 95% fit, basically. And it was nice to see that we can match them. When it's on one game for one game, we can match them when we like that. Because last year, we'd already lost our heads in it. We were already gone by the time we got to the Etihad last year. But putting Rob Holding there, who's played 0 minutes for Crystal Palace this season, or putting Saliba there, one bloke got man of the match and one bloke didn't play for Arsenal ever again after that game. And it was...
Yeah,
I don't want to keep kicking Rob Holding, but it makes you can quite see,
that's
see the difference.
About injuries and teams, and City obviously a brilliant side. They still have a very, very good players, but they didn't have their number one goalie. Ake comes off after 20 minutes. Like, they have certain injuries. Walker didn't play. Stones was obviously not fit to play. So, and yes, they drew in. It was still a very, very good side. But yeah, it just shows you Arsenal go to a fully fit side and come out much stronger. And yeah, they get a well deserved and didn't concede a goal and get a well deserved point.
Yeah, because I think our first choice back four played against them at the Emirates as well. And pretty much at the moment, this is our first choice back four. I think Tomiyasu, if everyone is fit, then Tomiyasu probably does start. But over the 180 minutes, City have had 2 shots on target, which is just a really good... It shows a growth in the togetherness of the defensive work and the coaching, and it's just everyone's bought into that approach of this is... Unfortunately, you can't blow City away. No. Maybe once in a blue moon you can. I know Villa played very, very well, very, very well against them. But the blueprint is basically this is how you have to stifle City. And if you do get your chance, like Trossard had a chance on the break and maybe his first touch wasn't good, maybe that forced Martinelli, he's through. Or Jesus has a couple of half chances, then you take your luck then. But I was very happy with the result. I would have snatched a hand off of a draw. And like I said, the most important thing was just not lose. And again, you now have to build on this good, positive result on tomorrow night. Yeah. Beat Luton, put out, and just keep going game by game.
Yeah, I think now, like you said, I think the Opta stats come out and they say Liverpool are clear, not clear, but favourites because they're top, and then Arsenal are even third favourites somehow on the percentages and all the rest of it. But I would say Liverpool are favourites, but very small margin, purely because they're top. But then I'd say Arsenal and City are level. I know City have the history and they've done it in the past, all the rest of it, but yeah, I just think it's very, very close at the top. I don't think you could split them, and I don't think now anyone can use games and things. We like Arsenal. We played City. We can't do nothing about it. You've beat them and drawn. You can't use that as an excuse anymore. And Liverpool won't be able to do the same, and neither will City. I just think it's like you said, 9 games to go. It could be anyone's, and whoever's gonna slip up. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's very, very tight. Very tight.
I actually have that Opta analysis thing here in front of me. And basically, Liverpool and Man City have swapped. So before the game, they were 45% and 33%, and Arsenal were 18.8%. And Liverpool and Man City have swapped, basically. Yeah. And Arsenal have stayed exactly the same. Weirdly enough, I don't know if I'm being biased here. I still think Arsenal are third favourites because of the fixtures remaining. But I think Liverpool are the third best team out of the 3 of them.
I think so. I'd agree. I mean, I think so. I don't think, for whatever reason, Liverpool is working for whatever reason, like I said, and the youngsters are playing here and there, and it's coming off, and I feel like it's got to end at some point. But yeah, it's probably not a bad thing for Arsenal, but I don't think the Opta stuff is almost fair. Like I said, I think Liverpool are favourites purely because they're top at the minute. But yeah, City and Arsenal, it's very equal, and you've seen that from Sunday. But yeah, I think you're right. Liverpool are probably the third best out of those.
We were the Opta favourites for majority of last year. I think up until maybe like November to like March, and then it just literally fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
But I want to get your take on it, on a couple of things. What was your thoughts on the refereeing performance by Anthony Taylor?
At the time, well, it's probably not changed, but I probably think it's Spurs, but he refed it, not just him, but how all the refs, he refed it so different how he would ref. He might ref tonight or this week and he won't ref the same. He didn't give any yellow cards. I'm not saying it's about giving yellow cards, but he wasn't giving anything. He gave some free kicks and stuff, but they've never refed a game like that ever, and then suddenly Sunday, no, you know what? I'm going to change the whole thing, and no one's getting yellow cards. Like Jesus should have got a yellow card at some point, much earlier than what he did. What he got it for? He got it for a stupid kick away, but he'd given plenty of fouls that in any other game would have been given yellows. It was very. It was a premeditated performance.
Yeah, I 100%.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that term there.
And it's just we're both ways. I'm not just having a go because it's Arsenal, but yeah, he just like I said, it just wasn't. I don't know what you felt, but yeah, it was like he hadn't done that before, and then suddenly, okay, it's a massive game. It's on Sky, Sunday afternoon, Easter Sunday. Let's do this. It was just
No, I thought you summed that up very well. He clearly had in his mind that's what he was going to do, and he was going to let things go.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he gave Arsenal a bit of leeway. I thought you said Jesus probably should have been booked. I think Jorginho probably could have been booked early on. Maybe Kivior as well.
Yeah.
I quite liked it, obviously, because we were getting some.
Yeah.
But one thing I liked from Arsenal, which they've learnt this season, and I think that's very to do with what Arteta's brought in terms of mindset and personnel, is clever fouling. City have done it for years and got away with it, and you've got.
Oh yeah, but I'd say Arsenal have been doing that for God knows how long.
No, but they haven't always. For me, I don't think they've always got away because they've been obvious at it. Like your likes of Granit Xhaka. He'll compare a bit to Romero. They're clumsy tacklers. They make things look quite ugly.
But then I'd say when you were winning the league in the early 2000s and all the rest, that period, that squad, you're at the highest level, and they were doing that perfectly.
Yeah, back then, but not like this.
No, not recently.
Yeah.
Maybe not recently, but yeah, you're right in that. The best teams have always done it, and you sit there and Tottenham have never been the best, but you think, bloody hell, they're getting away with it. And that was what was happening on Sunday, and you think it's a tactic employed by teams. It's a clear tactic, and it works. It does work.
But it's a tactic that has to be done a certain way, because City have done it for years, and it's rotational fan, and they get away with it. And it's a great tactic when you use it right. I think we've had players like Ramsdale and even Kieran Tierney to an extent who are very emotional players. Who you can quite tell when they're worked up and they're trying something, or they're winding the fans up. Raya got booked eventually after what he kept doing it, and he kept bringing Saliba and Gabriel to take a short one, and then pushing them away, and then eventually the ref booked him. But he was doing it in like a sort of subtle way that it wasn't in your face.
But that's what I'm saying about the ref. But that was a stupid yellow card, and the Jesus one was just ridiculous when all the other stuff was going on. But
we've got players now in the team like Odegaard, who fouled enough times. How he didn't get booked for that other foul, but if you noticed every foul that was happening either way, he was straight to the ref, smiling about it, not shouting, not in his arms, just just talking him through why he did that. And Declan Rice is another one who's fantastic at it. He probably makes more fouls than Xhaka potentially, but doesn't do it in an aggressive manner. And Jorginho is the same player who just little fouls here and there, but it's the manner of the fouls that the ref doesn't get pissed off about it,
because they're like little innocuous trips and whatever, and they go, oh, sorry, and then they carry on. But so I'm saying about it's a tactic in that Arsenal tried it and they were getting away with it as such, because if a ref would have booked someone, then it sort of stops, and that they don't gain that small advantage from making these little fouls, and that's what's quite frustrating, obviously, as a Tottenham fan. But you see it when City do it, or United have done it in the past, and that's the more annoying thing about going back to the ref, in that. Okay, he didn't ref the game like they always do, but he will never ref like that way. Essentially, again, it's very frustrating.
But what I do think was very important that Arsenal obviously didn't concede early. They've had a history of going to the Etihad and getting pummeled early doors, and by keeping the clean sheet, I think it was the first time in 58 games that Man City have failed to score. And first time since December 2016 that Arsenal avoided defeat at the Etihad. I think they lost their last 9 on the trot.
Arsenal had lost their last 8 in all comps at Etihad. They might have lost 9 or 10 against City, but so like we said, not to concede is a massive, massive improvement. But I'd say they only had City had one like obvious chance. That was the Ake header shoulder thing, but he didn't expect it, and then Arsenal Jesus had a couple, but he sort of just fluffed his sort of half chance, and then the ball across where Saka played it, but Jesus was not near it at all. But apart from that, it was nothing really. It was very, very game of very few chances.
And following on from that point, I do think it's worth mentioning that this game specifically taking place directly after an international break does have an impact. Preparations is impacted by all these players that are jet setting all over the world. I know you have your some players that Arsenal, Man City have pulled out international squads to keep them away from their countries. But you often see that, I think, and I think that's true for some of the games throughout the game we've just gone, that they weren't the best, or your team weren't quite clicking like they did 3 weeks ago. Because a lot of the teams, Arsenal and Spurs, I think, for example, I you played Fulham, didn't you? But we haven't played for 3.5 weeks. Like, we just haven't, because of the FA Cup in there, and it is a long time to go without a game. And when this especially is the big game, and everyone sat down for Easter Sunday ready for an entertaining 5-0 Man City, that both teams weren't prepared, I don't think, to do that risk. Man City chucked on Doku and
Grealish towards the end, wasn't it?
Grealish, and took off Kovacic. But then Arsenal just countered that straight away with bringing on Partey and bringing on Tomiyasu, excuse me. So it was very chess game, essentially, wasn't it? You make a move, we'll make a move, counter. Yeah. And with 10 minutes to go, no team really wanted to go for it, to lose it.
Because they were too concerned, obviously, about conceding a goal and losing the game. And
I think that's when Arsenal brought Martinelli on for 10 minutes to go. It was like, if you're going to push, then we've got this pace that we haven't had
exactly
before.
Like you're saying, but it was sort of like half, we're going to try, but we're also, Martinelli's coming on to defend and do his job. And yeah, it was... But yeah, Pep said we take the point. This was sort of paraphrasing directly after. He said, yeah, we take the point. Arteta said we have made a big step. And it's sort of, in terms of both of them, it just feels that way, like it's a draw. So, we could have done this, could have done that. But also, Arsenal, obviously, the recent history and the rest of it, and what's at stake this season. I think that Arsenal might feel obviously it's a point game, but they'll maybe come out slightly happier. But I don't think City will be too disappointed. It was okay. It was quite a good result for everyone, and obviously probably quite a good result for Liverpool after their win. But yeah, like you said, I think if Arsenal have lost, then psychologically that's a huge barrier. It's like, well, we've come here, new players, we're trying a new system, we're trying to adopt a different style against City, and it hasn't worked again. Like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? But I think I don't want to sound like I'm almost for Arsenal, but I think even obviously a win would have been fantastic, but drawing and not conceding and playing that way and actually seeing it actually works. Like, I think that could be as good as a win. It sounds stupid, but so yeah, I think it's set it up very nicely.
And just to follow on for that point you just made, I think that the way they performed, I do think they probably expected a little bit more possession, but just the way the game went, the way they performed is so crucial going forward in terms of if they get further in the Champions League, if they win, they beat Bayern 1-0, 2-1 at the Emirates first leg, they know that they've had the toughest game in European football away at the Etihad and join 0-0. They know they can go to the Allianz.
Yeah.
Maybe not be as defensive, but they know they have it in them.
Yeah.
To be able to put that in, be that resolute, and keep the best team in the world away from scoring. They've been to Anfield and held a 1-1. They know they can play like that. They can be compact, and they've got players off the bench when everyone's fit. But yeah, they bring Tomiyasu into a back five or something, or a fully fit Partey. It's got more legs than Jorginho. It's a hard unit to break down. And I think even Pep said it after. It's like, how do you break that down? And I think he joked and just said, "You've got to shoot someone." There is no way. When you're that resolute and you're all together like that, it's a good unit.
I said it earlier, but it's not as if Arteta's come out with a new plan and it's like, oh my God, he's amazing. But like I said, so many teams have tried it and do it. The smaller sides, the classic cliche, and they try and do it and sit behind the ball and defend and counter. But like I said, when you're a very good team, you've got very good players, and you're fighting at the top, and they buy into it and they see it's working, they're like, oh, this, like Spurs did for a little while. We had Son and Kane up front. We played that way, and it was working. We got some great results. But yeah, I think it's even better when an Arsenal doing it compared to a Brentford or a bloody, I don't know, like a West Ham at City or something like that. So yeah, it's good for Arsenal that they can play. They know they can play, and it works. And you'll see Arsenal got Luton, I think, the weekend. Who have you got tomorrow?
We've got Luton tomorrow.
So yeah, exactly. You'll see tomorrow the typical Arsenal way, and they'll go full throttle, I imagine.
Yeah, so going into the next games, we've got Luton tomorrow, City got Villa tomorrow at home, and Liverpool have Sheffield United, which, if Sky Bet could get back to me on my 10-0, that would be great. Which is really interesting because a lot was made about Arsenal's goal difference, and Arsenal were 6 above Liverpool at the moment. Liverpool could quite conceivably make that back on Wednesday night or Thursday night whenever they play at home to Sheffield United 6-0.
Yeah.
It's not. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility that that's the thing.
And
that
it would also make sense. So no one would think twice about it.
And I think in a couple of weeks, Luton go to the Etihad. Again, City could just turn it on if they wanted to. But the weekend, City go to, which has been historically a bogey team for them, Crystal Palace away.
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal go to Brighton, that has definitely been a bogey team for them. And Liverpool go to Old Trafford.
So it could be, like, everyone drops points. It's
a big weekend, and the way it falls, come Arsenal play tomorrow, just if Arsenal win, beat Luton, then they go top. City then play Villa at about half an hour later. If they win, then Liverpool back to third. And then City and Arsenal both play again before Liverpool play on Sunday at the late kickoff. They could be going into Old Trafford third again.
I think
it's all psychological. And by the time this weekend's over, there'll be 7 games left, 6 games left.
And no one out of those 3 don't play each other again, do you?
No
one plays. It's all done. It's just that, and it's that point, isn't it? It's, everyone's still in Europe out of those 3. City is still in the FA Cup. Injuries will probably play a part. You've got Europe with the big Champions League games for Arsenal and City. So, and how will they react after a midweek game and things like that? So, and like you said, this week itself is probably a good example of what's going to happen.
And it was crucial, I think, because last season City took 6 points of Arsenal, and that was the swing and the title difference. If Arsenal had just won one of them games, then they would have won the league. I know it tailed off to the end of the season, and City played, but points aside, that was the difference. And Liverpool and City drew both times, and Arsenal were the only team to beat both of them. So Arsenal got 4 points off both, a win and a draw of each, and then City and Liverpool got 2 points of each. So it's that them head-to-heads do make a difference. Yeah,
and that's what I said. You've done well you've done brilliantly against those sides this season. So you can't look at that. It's just when you go to Brighton or you got whoever at home, Bournemouth at home, wherever it might be, and if you drop points, then that's what's going to win or lose you the title, I suppose.
We've got some shot that them 2 games against Fulham.
Yeah, exactly.
Are real sticklers for me. Yeah. But again, Fulham are a team that have to play everyone. They don't play Arsenal anymore, but they play Liverpool and City. Wolves play all 3 again, I think. Spurs play all 3, and Villa play all 3. Yeah. So it's going to be I think
it's not out. That's not the right word, but I think you've got to rely on other results happening. I think essentially, and because all 3 will be flying, Arsenal, City, and Liverpool will be going for it. So I think
one prediction for you. So there's 8 games left. The team, I don't want you to tell who wins, but the team who wins the title, how many of those 8 games do you reckon they win, or have to win?
Good question.
Is it 9? It's 9 games left, isn't it? No, 9 games left.
29 you've played,
No, 30 29, sorry, sorry, you're right.
I think, say you got 9 games, I think 6 wins.
The teams that win it win.
I think if you get 6 wins, you win the league. Obviously, maybe a draw or 2, but 6 wins, I think, gets you it.
No, because I was looking at it's interesting. I try not to look at the other fixtures. I just focus on our one.
Yeah, because points will be dropped, wouldn't they? Like you said, Spurs have got to play all 3, and Villa the same, and whoever else you might drop points along the way. But I reckon 6.
It's interesting because your game with City is meant to be the FA Cup semi-final weekend, so it's been pushed back again, hasn't it? I think
there's no date for it. They've just teeing it up perfectly.
And it was like I was seeing these 11s that Spurs fans want to play that City game, and it's like Romero up front, Davis in goal.
Hopefully we play the under-21s and City win 5-0 and parade the title around Spurs. No, I actually wanted to say that now. I know it's so stupid, but after that result of City Arsenal, if Arsenal won, I'd want us to lose 8-0 against Liverpool and 8-0 against City. But now, because of that result, I always want us to win. But I'd love us to beat City, Liverpool, and Arsenal now. It'd be brilliant. But it's that's what I'm trying to say is that in previous seasons I wanted us to lose against City all the time, but not now. It is what it is. Whoever's going to win it will win it, and I hope that we carry on and just win as many games as we can.
Perfect. Right, I think that brings a good close to that segment. I'm going to take a break quickly, and then we'll be back with the remaining of the games.
Hello listeners, it's former England and Premier League player Matt Jarvis here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Remember to support the podcast by sharing with your friends and family and leaving that 5-star review. Now come on you Irons and stay loyal.
So we're just going to have a little chat about the remaining fixtures and the results from the weekend. Start with Newcastle.
Start with Newcastle
West Ham.
first, West Ham, 12:30. Now, this is the epitome of why international football is horrific. First game back, bang, Premier League, what a game that is.
Yeah.
You've got penalties, dodgy decisions, 4-3, comebacks, away team doing well, then the home team switches, last-minute winner. Welcome to the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. But the main takeaways is West Ham started off poorly because they give away a penalty. Deserved penalty, the first one. Isaac slots it in. And then Newcastle just sort of crumbled. They had another ACL they've got.
Is it?
Lamelles? No, it's Jamal Lascelles.
Lascelles. Has he done his knee? Bloody.
Done his ACL. And then West Ham grew into the game. Antonio scored. And then Kudos scored in like the 10th minute of added time.
Bowen made it 3-1.
And then Bowen made it 3-1. I actually did fancy West Ham to get a result in this. But they did shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
Whether it's to do with David Moyes' decision to bring on Calvin Phillips for Antonio, who was playing very well, and he led to the goal.
Yes.
So an interesting point actually on this penalty. So I was having a discussion on Sunday and even today, and I couldn't see the argument that it wasn't a penalty.
Yeah.
And maybe I had my blinkers on, and but just like he's just kicked him. He's kicked him. He's rolled round, like it's just a foul. He hasn't won the ball. He's just kicked his foot. And I think you were in agreement as well at the time.
I was probably over the weekend almost, obviously like having we're doing stuff, we're going out, doing whatever, but just whatever. I haven't actually sat down and watched it, but then I saw it today. I was like, well, yeah. I now understand the frustration. It was awful, yeah.
Yeah, there was one tweet I saw, and it was a really good breakdown of it, basically. He said if you take away the rolling around, which they did, the video cut, and was just a replay of just the instant, take away as soon as he got kicked, you do see that he puts his foot in the way as a sort of he gets his foot kicked, but he's put it there on purpose to draw that contact, and it's arguably a free kick to West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah. Makes the ref exactly what happened. Makes the ref make a decision, but the Gordon jumps in, doesn't get any of the ball. He fouls Phillips, and Phillips just carries on with the kick, and obviously whacks him in the back of the leg. But Gordon, it's just not a penalty at all. And for a long while I didn't understand what they're all going about. I was just almost blasé about it. But it's not a penalty at all.
And the penalty was then to make it 3-2, game back on, and Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, he kind of looked good cameo, wasn't it?
Two finishes, yeah. The first goal I think is soft from a West Ham point of view. Let him run off Zuma or Mavropanos. He slots it through past Fabianski. And then the fourth is a great finish.
Yeah,
absolutely whacked it, didn't he? No Baranari this time, though.
He done a quick one, I think, on the first goal.
Did he?
Yeah, but he done a quick one and ran back to carry on, But then, I don't think, like you said, I don't think for the fourth goal, his second, I don't think he did one.
There's a great camera angle of that. Just looking at two managers, and you've got Mad Dog Jason Tindall and Eddie Howe, and then you've got like Moyes. You can just see, you can just see in his head, he just goes, "Fuck."
Yeah,
like he knows.
Because up until obviously they gave the game away as such, but they were 3-1 up. They were classic. They were working on the counter. It was perfect probably for Moyes, and then I think everyone jumps on Moyes because of the result and he's right, why he this. But ultimately the point was that they were 3-1 up and they just reverted back, sitting back deep, and like you said, some of the changes, bringing on Phillips, who's obviously way off it, and all the rest that happened. But obviously very, very frustrating for West Ham. But for a long period of the game, they were doing very well.
I think it was a very critical win for Newcastle, some critical points for them, because that keeps them in the mix for the 7th, 8th place, potentially a Conference League position. Moving on to the seaside, Bournemouth-Everton. Not too much on this, but my God, if you were a relegation battle and your captain, most experienced player, and your goalkeeper had that mix-up, and that happened after you just equalised, Everton, Merseyside, down to Bournemouth. Oh, I
Haven't
I
won in the
cried.
league since Burnley away, 16th of December. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got some.
So a point would have been invaluable to them.
I've got some notes on Everton in a bit. Chelsea Burnley. Chelsea made a right pig's ear of this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
10-man Burnley 2-2. Very good.
Nearly lost it in the end of Jay Rodriguez header. How on earth is that a penalty? And a sending off.
Yeah.
Like it's so harsh. Like a ridiculous decision.
Yeah. Second booker won it, I think. Yeah.
And Company obviously lost his head and saw him get sent off for the second or third time this season.
Yeah, I heard them say, but yeah, Burnley had the most red cards. I think two times for Company. So yeah, obviously a very good point for them, but that just about keeps them alive, I think. But yeah, it's almost, I don't know, them and Sheffield United just gone.
Forest Palace 1-1 skip. Sheffield United 3, Fulham 3. What Sheffield United? Where's that come from?
What are both doing? What are Sheffield United doing? What are Fulham up to? Like, yeah, you saw it, and it was 4-1 at one point. Obviously got rightly disallowed, and then ended 3-3. But yeah, don't know. Sheffield United just.
Yeah, Sheffield United have gone from 6-0 and 5-0, and Fulham have gone from beating yourselves to then nearly being 4-1 down to the worst team in the league. What an equaliser.
Yeah, what a goal from Rodrigo Munoz. What a goal. 18-8 he scored, and that was a joke.
That was absolute.
Sort of, whatever, the bicycle half side winder thing, yeah, it was a joke.
And 2 goals for Brenton Diaz as well. Spurs 2, Luton 1. So we were actually chatting off air about this earlier, and I wasn't really watching the game live at the time, and then saw it come through on my phone, 1-0 Luton. I was like, oh, okay. And then own goal, and I was like, really? And then like Son deflected winner. I was like, oh, I was alright, I got a little grump. And then having watched the highlights back and seen some of the reports, I think you battered them.
Yeah,
for
we had some ridiculous chances, like where Son hits both posts, it comes back outside. Like on another day, that just gets smashed in, and it's a goal. And yeah, Werner again had some chances, and
the goal line clearance.
Yeah, the goal line, was it over the line? Who knows? Like, yeah, it was. Well, it's like we deserved to win. It is what it is. We won 2-1, but we also at the minute, for whatever reason, are conceding a lot of goals, and we have a brilliant goalkeeper. Van der Ven's out at the minute, but Dragson was brought into play and make a difference. Romero's very good. Poro's very good. Adogi's brilliant, but for whatever reason, as a side, we're very, very easy to score against. And
I think that's the 3rd game on the trot that you've come from behind at home to win.
Yeah, I heard some stat, which is good. That's obviously a good thing to do, and that's a good thing to carry on. But yeah, I mean, tonight probably be a perfect game for West Ham on the counter. You saw it the weekend; they were 3-1 up, playing off the counter. Kudos, Paqueta, Bowen running through. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, we shall see.
I wonder if Phillips will start tonight.
Hope so. I really hope so. Might help us.
Villa Wolves, going to skip through that one.
Yeah.
And then Brentford Man United. So I watched this one. And before I actually go on this, for me, this is like proper Premier League, how the fixtures should be laid out. 1, 12:30, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3 o'clocks, a 5:30. I'm not too fussed on the 8 o'clock. I don't never want Arsenal playing the 8 o'clock slot. I don't like it on a Saturday. But how all their fixtures are laid out perfectly, and then 2 on a Sunday, it's brilliant. That is like proper Premier League. Give it, because you want to sit and watch Soccer Saturday if your team's not playing or whatever, and then you can put some bets on and watch the results come in, and then sit at the pub for the 5:30 or maybe that's just me being me. But
no, it's good.
Brentford Man United. My God, I'm not being funny. If anyone can still sit there and look me in the face and say Ten Hag is doing a good job, and you want Ten Hag to carry it, he coached that. And how many times have you seen that performance? The results have been a lot better than the performances, because my God, how do they get away with a point there? They were battered from minute 1 till minute 95, and from minute 95 and 13 seconds to minute 95 and 17 seconds, they were the better team when Mount scored. And as soon as they scored, they reverted back to what they've been doing and just conceded again.
Yeah, Neville comes out and changes his tune every week about him, but it's just, don't know. It can't be enjoyable. It's not enjoyable to watch. It can't be.
I know they've got their off-field problems, and some of it's made better from Ratcliffe coming in and the Glazers and that. But they are just a really, really poorly coached team who go there with no idea what to do. They have no styles of play, no patterns of play. who presses when you got the midfielders up here, you got the defenders down here, strikers aren't interested. Hoyland's not scoring goals, so they're not getting any goals. What on earth's going on? Like,
yeah, and they bring on Mount, who hasn't played, he's been injured, and score straight away. It's just
they actually remind me of the Arsenal team, Emery's Arsenal team, where the results actually ended up being far better than performance. So we went to Watford and had 32 shots against us. Like, what? Like, that's so unacceptable.
Yeah, I think Brentford had a really high.
Yeah, and it was like, I think we had this the other day that only Sheffield United have conceded more shots than Manchester United this season. Like, what is going on there? And Casemiro played, Varane played. It's just, they're all over the shot, and somehow they got away for a draw. Although I really, really hope they get something on Sunday, but you never. That's the sort of thing they'll turn up for at that game. But they've got Chelsea. They've got Man United, Chelsea on Thursday. That's like,
who's worse?
Yeah, who's worse at the moment?
Yeah, no, not good for them.
And then the final game to go on was Liverpool-Brighton. That guy banged in a great goal.
Yeah, you texted me. I was like, "What are you going on about?" And then I realised what was happening. Yeah, 1-0 up. I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Diaz equalised, and then Salah eventually scored after, I think it's 12 shots, the most he's ever had in a Premier League game. So yeah, they got the 3 points, and they moved top of the table, and they move on to an interesting week. I think Liverpool deserved that in the end. They were by far the better team, although 2-1 seems quite close. They were by far the better team in that game. Right, shall we move on to team of the week?
Yes, I'll start. I'll let you have the defenders. But in goal, Muric from Burnley pulled off some good saves. Obviously got a point at Chelsea. Can't really argue with that. So yeah, Muric, team of the week, Burnley's goalkeeper.
So we've actually gone for, I think, the first time ever, a defensive pairing with the same team. And we've gone for William Saliba and Gabriel. Both absolutely colossal in the defending. Restricted Manchester City to one shot on target, which was from a corner. Basically played a all game, a good cop, bad cop sort of style. Gabriel was the enforcer, going to Haaland straight away, shutting him down, and Saliba was mopping up the loose balls. They gave Saliba man of the match on Sky. It could have easily been to Gabriel. I think Gabriel is less pretty, for a better word, on the eye than Saliba. Saliba looks like the Rio Ferdinand, and you've got Gabriel
Vidic,
is like the Vidic of the pair, the more of the enforcer. But those two, again, and have been all season, and are one of the main reasons that Arsenal have the best defence in the league to date. Those two are just very, very good together.
Yeah, and Roy Keane come out and slated Haaland, but yeah, he just
That's harsh, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he just barely might as well not been on the pitch. But yeah, those two were brilliant. First midfielder, I've gone for Harvey Barnes for his 2-goal cameo. It came on about the 65th or 70th minute, but yeah, two nice finishes. Allowed Newcastle to win the game, but yeah, I think 2-goal cameo, very well played.
And on his return from injury as well, and he's only recently been back. And the second midfielder we've gone for is Alexis McAllister, playing against his former club Brighton. I think he was involved in both goals and got man of the match. Especially that assist for the second goal was just lovely when he got one touch, weighted ball in straight into Salah. He just controlled the game, and we mentioned it a while back that he's just been a real steady, good signing for Liverpool. And one of the reasons I think they're in this title, Charles, because last season they were ageing with Fabinho and Henderson. I see a lot of jokes about Henderson online. I was like, what would he do in this position? Like, boot over the bar or whatever. But no, he's been a really steady player, and very, very good performance from him again. I think it was in the team of the week a couple of weeks ago as well, so well done.
Yep. And then for the vote this week is between Alexander Isak and Brereton Diaz. Both scored twice. Isak scored 2 penalties, didn't he? Brereton Diaz, 2 goals for Sheffield United when they were winning the game. He's not brilliant, but he's done alright, hasn't he, for Sheffield United. Rubbish, but yeah, he's probably more than good enough to sort of play for that sort of side. But yeah, Isak again, 2 goals, another good performance. So vote between those 2 strikers.
I think both got an assist as well. Isak is my one. If I could pick a striker next season I'd like us to sign, he is the one I would like to put the money down for.
I think it'd be quite expensive, wouldn't he? Because he went to Newcastle for a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't think you get any change out of 90 to 100 million pound.
And that's more. I think it's good, but I think it's more because Newcastle paid a lot and they obviously want him. So yeah, no, he looks a very, very classy player, doesn't he?
yeah, when he's fitting on form, he's silky, and he's
he's
for a big man.
Yeah.
The old
Yeah.
saying, but I always go back to that assist against Everton last year. That ridiculously run. And he's a player that I think Arteta would like, and he can play on the left. He can play in the middle. Arteta likes a player that can not just a static one position. But let's move on. Prediction. I don't actually know where my phone is, so I might have to give you this one. I think I might have left it in the car because I don't know where it is.
I feel like we haven't done one of these in a while.
Yeah, we had international break, and it's been a little while. So, who are you going to fancy on the old flash scores?
Oh, it's the early kick-off in the Championship.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, the Championship is heating up. And Norwich have got Ipswich at home at 12:30, the East Anglian derby. The Canaries host the Tractor Boys.
What a win that was for them last night. My
God.
Literally the last kick.
Yeah, the latest possible. But, Ipswich currently top, 87 points. Norwich 6th. The final spot of the playoffs, 64 points. But, what do you reckon, Norwich versus Ipswich?
So I was chatting to JJ about this on the weekend. They've got a real bad record there. He said he'd take a draw. I'm going to go... I want an Ipswich win, but I'm going to... do I risk it? Not risk it. I was going to say 2-2, but I'm going to go... I'll go 2-2. 2-2.
It was 2-2 earlier on in the season, so I'm going to go Ipswich win, I think 2-1 to Ipswich.
2-1 town.
To the town.
If they win that, my God,
they're top, aren't they, at the minute?
They're flying,
crazy, yeah. They're right
same amount of points, same amount of games as Leeds. I know Leicester have a game in hand, but...
Yeah, it's very exciting.
They've done very, very well this season. Right, winner of the week. I've gone for... I can't remember again. Similar to my teaser. Have I picked him for winner of the week before? Rodrigo Muniz. Whilst on the theme of Brazilians for the teaser, 8 goals in his last 8 games, I think, or 8 goals in his last 7, maybe even. Last-minute basketball kick equaliser against Sheffield United. He's literally transformed since January. Will he have a big part to play in the title race? Both Liverpool and Man City come to Craven Cottage. I hope all the good words I've said about him he comes back to reward me. So man of the match, winner of the week for me, Rodrigo Muniz.
Nice. My winner of the week is from Good Friday, and it's Carlisle's John Mellish. He plays for Carlisle. They're League One. They got promoted last season. They're rock bottom. They're basically relegated. I think they're on 27 points. They're rubbish. They're absolutely awful this season. But John Mellish, I think he's a defender, but he's been playing whole midfield. Actually scored a hat-trick away at Peterborough, who are promotion contenders. I think they're 4th in the league. They're high flying, and Carlisle haven't won in years. It feels like 3-1 win, and John Mellish with a hat-trick. So my winner of the week, John Mellish.
Very well done. Lose the week. I sort of touched on it earlier, and I've got to go for Everton Football Club. I don't know if you would have seen on the Instagram that we did a post over the weekend, but on the 19th of December, Jack and I recorded a podcast titled Terrific Toffees, episode 75. So 15 podcasts ago. Everton had just beaten Burnley 2-0 over in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup against Fulham. They lost against Fulham on penalties. They had a penalty to win it as well. Onana tried some silly run-up. Awful penalty. Missed it, and then Fulham ended up scoring. Everton then missed, and Fulham scored again. Knocked out the Carabao Cup. We're now in April, if I'm not corrected. April the 2nd, and Everton have not won a Premier League game since. Away at Newcastle tonight. It loses the week. Everton.
I like it. Well, my loser week is quite similar. I've actually gone for Seamus Coleman. Missed Everton. If you're going to say someone you'd first thought is Everton, with Seamus Coleman, and they're, like I said, they're struggling. They haven't got a winning God knows how long. They were drawing, and almost a comical own goal. So my loser of the week, Seamus Coleman.
He must have felt such an idiot.
As soon as he hit him, just like, duh. It was it was a brain dead moment. Nothing you could do about it. But yeah, it just looks much worse than it is. But yeah, shame
And
it's
where that is as well in the ground, it's right in front of the travelling fans as well, isn't it? You see the you see the replay,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
it's-
just like, oh my god. Right, back to the teaser. Willian has made 311 Premier League appearances on Saturday. He didn't make 311 appearances on Saturday. He made his
He has,
311th
yeah.
on Saturday against Sheffield United. But can you name the 9 other Brazilians who make up the top 10 all-time Brazilian Premier League appearance holders?
Fernandinho.
Number 2.
Would he be in there? Would Edison be in the top 10?
Number 5.
Oh, he's much higher than I thought. Okay, Allison as well then.
Alisson, interestingly enough, snuck in
Oh,
by 1.
is he 10 or?
He's number 10. He overtook Coutinho on his last game for
I was gonna say
last
Coutinho.
last appearance for Liverpool.
Oh right, so Coutinho.
Sorry,
yeah.
I've just
No, I would have. I would have said.
yeah.
That's weird though, because I would have said Coutinho would have played well, like so much more. Yeah, strange. Okay, that's weird. Edison throw me off really being that high up. Fernandinho's 2. I bet it must be a big gap then between the top 3 or 4 to then. Okay. Oh, Liverpool again. Lucas Leiva, he would got to be up there.
Number 4.
Oh, Arsenal have had a few, surely. Would he have played a lot though? He's staring at me. I'm getting nothing out of him. I would say Gilberto. Is it Gilberto Silva?
He's not in the top 10.
What he must 2 seasons at Arsenal, 2 or 3 seasons, or longer? I don't know.
4 or 5.
Oh, really?
I think, yeah.
He's still not in there.
Go back to your Liverpool wishing well.
I was going to say Coutinho. He's not there. Alisson, I've said. Lucas Leiva. Brazilians. Oh, Firmino.
Firmino, number 3.
Yes. Okay, so I've got 1
You-
to 5.
You've got 6, 7, 8, and 9 to go.
Thiago Silva?
No.
Is he? Is it pretty not even close? Is he?
I haven't looked at it. I haven't
No.
got the top 10 here. But you were close-ish earlier when you were talking to yourself. Do you want a clue?
Yeah, I'm sort of lost at the
So
minute.
these 4 players have all played for either your team or my team.
Really? I play for Spurs. Brazilians. Oh, Lucas Moura.
No.
No. That's a terrible shout then.
2 for you, 2 for Arsenal.
God, someone's probably screaming at us. I'm trying. It can't be. It's like I've got Baptista running from my head. Eduardo. It can't be them. There's no way.
No.
No way.
More modern than that.
Oh, Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus, number 8.
Yes. Martinelli? No. I can't think of any Brazilians for us. That's because our record with Brazilians is awful. Surely not. Not that idiot. Not Emerson Royale.
No.
No.
Come on, you got another Brazilian.
Am I going to kick myself?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, God. Oh,
Richarlison, number
Bloody
6.
hell, yeah, got there in the end.
Right. The two now don't play in the Premier League anymore. One's retired, one isn't.
So one of them still plays, but not in the Prem.
Yeah.
David Luiz?
David Luiz, number 7.
Nice.
So we've got number 9. He played for you.
Oh, God. All I've got in my head is that crap Gilberto that played for us. It just can't be him. It's not him. And I barely remember Richarlison, so Brazilians for us.
That Gilberto era, though.
Oh. Aurelio Gomez.
Aurelio Gomez.
Yes, yeah, decent.
Number 9. So interesting enough, the numbers are all pretty close to each other. So run from 1 down to 10. 311, 264, 256, 247, 244, 224, 213, 205, 195, 194. So Edison, by the end of the season,
Would go a bit higher.
will
probably.
go potentially if he plays the nine remaining games.
Yeah.
He will equal Firmino's record.
Yeah. And then that Alisson would probably.
And then 2 more seasons of Edison, he'd beat Brilliant's record.
Yeah, that's
So yeah.
pretty good. I like it. I don't think you might have asked a similar Brazilian.
It was
but
Lucas Leiva that threw me off because I remember him being in
He might have been an answer one.
an answer one
Yeah.
week, and I was like, oh, but
No, nice.
no, very well done. Right, that leaves it there for episode 90.
Yep.
90.
100 is approaching.
100 is approaching. The season will be finished, potentially.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, in 10 weeks' time.
The 100th episode.
10
yeah.
weeks' time, yeah. The season could be
Mm.
finished in 10 weeks' time, so we shall see. Another big week of Premier League games. But
Mhm.
again, like we said a few weeks back, well, a few months back now, by the time we talk again, another 20 games will have happened.
Yes, and hopefully when you're listening to this, Tottenham have smashed West Ham, but can't see it happening myself. But yes, hopefully this time tomorrow morning when all the West Ham fans are off sick because they're sick to the stomach with the result from tonight. But
Is it at the London Stadium?
yeah,
Do you want to sign us off with a score prediction?
Oh. No, I can't do one. No, I'm not. I will say one, but it's nothing like I said before. I can't do it ever again. Did it once and it failed miserably. So I'd like to think we'd win. It's going to be a horrible game. It's going to be perfect for them. Nice little counter. Kudos, Paqueta, Bowen. But
Would any of those 3 players get in a Spurs team now? Or should we leave that for another day?
on current form, I think Paqueta gets in our midfield. Yes. I think 2-1 Spurs. Yeah. What about yourself, Jared? Got one for us?
I'm going to go 2.
Yeah, I think a draw could be
2.
happening.
Is it 8:15, isn't it?
8:15, yeah.
That place
8:15.
will be lively.
Oh, that's why I'm not going. Get me away from Stratford. That Shenfield, that line is, not a good place to be when West Ham are at home. So, again,
Right.
thanks for listening. But,
We'll leave it there.
leave that one there, I think.
And stay loyal.
Stay loyal.